Hi, Democrats. Today is Thursday, June 29th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Thursday. I usually would say happy Thursday, but I am not happy today. And unless you live under a rock, you have heard that the Supreme Court passed down a decision that says that where they banned race as a consideration point for diversifying college and university campuses. And this is true for public and private schools. So we want you to diversify your student population, but don't use race as a determining factor. So maybe what people can use is, are you a legacy? Maybe what they can use is, do you have access to an elected official who can write you a special letter? What they've created was a different kind of affirmative action. They've created the thing that I've been fussing about now for a year. They've created quality education for some. That's the offshoot of what they've done. Yesterday, I talked about how Democrats care for well-funded quality education. Let's take those adjectives out of there and just talk about how Democrats care about education, because we know that education is supposed to be the great equalizer, that if you have a proper education, be it through college, university, or trade school, but if you have a proper education, you can get a job that should help you to be able to afford a basic lifestyle where you can keep your belly fed and a roof over your head. Education is what we hope would help us get there. But the Supreme Court just decided that education should be saved for a special few. Now, I was asked today if I was going to talk about this, because I don't always talk about race. I don't always talk about race because I don't have to. You can see me. But today I have to talk about race, because if we don't talk about it, it is going to be allowed to skulk around in the shadows. And we're going to keep doing these kinds of things. And it's going to become normalized. So it happened today. We have been marching down this path. When I first became aware, it was in 1996, when future Justice Thomas said that he didn't believe in affirmative action, even though he was a benefactor of it, even though he had benefit of affirmative action. And so for the 27 ensuing years, this has been a thing that he's been wanting to enact. And now we have it. Now he got it. Race isn't a consideration. This is just a reminder that every election matters. U.S. senators are the ones who confirm Supreme Court justices. So let me remind you who the U.S. senators of Oklahoma are. We have Mr. I'll Fight You Out Back and Markwayne Mullin. And then we have Senator, I'm a Christian, but I believe that we should force children to have children. That's who Oklahoma elected as U.S. senators. And so folks with that mentality, and I'm not saying anything that's not true that you can't Google, folks with that mentality are who sits in judgment of who's going to be our Supreme Court justices. One guy who literally, in a work-related electoral situation, challenged someone to a fight, a physical fight. And then someone who cloaks himself in the Bible, but insists that 13-year-olds can consent to sex, and should they become pregnant, have to carry that pregnancy to term and deliver. That is who is in D.C. representing us on the U.S. Senate. Every election counts. You think it has nothing to do with you? You think because you're not sure what they do all the time? Because, we always get pictures of Langford down at the border whining about something. You think that he has nothing to do with your everyday life. But he does. Every election matters. Let's bring it back here to other stuff. we had a state of emergency in our state that affected a great swath of folks. Our governor and lieutenant governor were out of state and told supposedly no one, because the number 3 in charge says that he didn't even know that they weren't there. Every election matters. The superintendent of public instruction, through yet another audit, has been proved to have used wasted taxpayer dollars, misappropriated taxpayer dollars, and how it was going to be spent. Not accusing the man of stealing. I'm accusing the man of not caring about our hard-earned tax dollars by being willy-nilly about our hard-earned tax dollars. Every election matters, not just who is in the state house and not just who's at Congress and who's president. Those matter. But every election matters. It is 2023, and we still need affirmative action because racially diverse college education, college enrollment isn't happening organically. Now, we all wish that it was happening organically, because if it was, we wouldn't need affirmative action. But it's not, and we do. And the Supreme Court decided that we don't. So we're going to go back to only certain folks get into certain kinds of colleges. We're going to go back to only certain folks can actually pursue the top level of their profession. Because when folks go to hire you, they look at what college you went to. And if you have a Harvard or a Yale on your resume, it gives you a better shot. It gives you a leg up. But now that we are limiting who can go to those kinds of schools, we're limiting who. Now, there are people who can punch above their weight. I'm not saying that. I know some folks. But we're making it harder. And we're making it where people have to punch above their weight just to achieve. And again, what do Democrats believe? We believe that everyone should have equal access to the American dream and economic opportunity. This is another smack in the face. So just with this decision, they've attacked 2 of our 3 principal beliefs, just with this decision. And I have to keep going back to every election matters. So I am angry. I am angry that who we have sitting on in the U.S. Senate, who gets to pick the Supreme Court justices, don't fully represent all of us in our state. They don't. They don't fully represent all of us. And I have no idea how what Lankford does has ever impacted my life in a positive way. Maybe he has. I can't think of a thing because I watch what he does, not what he says. I watch how he votes. He's not voting for the good of all of us. He's voting with his party in Washington, D.C. He's voting on what they decide, regardless of what is happening in Oklahoma. And then he somehow tries to kind of tack it back to something about Oklahoma. He doesn't care about what's happening in Oklahoma. Because if he did, he would not be okay with forcing children to give birth. Because we have very bad outcomes. We have very high maternal mortality rates in Oklahoma. He would take that into consideration if he really cared about what's happening in Oklahoma. But he's going with his belief in the Bible. Yes, belief in the Bible, because he has a very different Bible than the Bible I was raised on. He's going with his belief in the Bible, and he's going with his buddies in D.C. while he's supposed to be representing us. I am, for that to be the first news to wake up to this morning. It's depressing, disgusting, but once again, I feel like every day the majority party in our state gives me another reason to double down on the work that I do here. It gives me a reason to double down and being a loud, proud Democrat. Because I am not on the side of the folks who say, I got mine. You get yours however you can figure it out. I'm going to pull up the ladder and make it harder for you. I am not on the side of folks who say only certain people deserve quality education. I am not on the side of people who say 10-year-olds, regardless of what it's going to do to their health, regardless of what that fetus, what's happening with that fetus, have to. We're going to force them, if they find themselves pregnant, regardless of the situation, that they have to give birth. I'm not on that side. I'm on the side that says that decision should be made by, in this case, that 10-year-old's parents and their physician. I'm on the side that says everyone should have access to quality, well-funded education. I'm on the side that says everyone should be able to afford health care. I'm on the right side. And that is why I comfortably get up and do what I do. It is why when I'm asked, I don't shy away. I don't whisper. I am a loud, proud Democrat because I keep being reminded of what the alternative is right now. And the alternative is disgusting and elitist. And it must be tamped down. And the way we tamp that down is by getting our word out. Well, first by owning who we are and being loud and proud about it. And then getting the word out. And then electing more Democrats. And if that's us putting our name on the ballot, or if that's finding someone and then supporting them all the way across the finish line. That's why we have to do what we do. We keep being reminded. We keep being shown why what we do as involved Democrats is important. We have to elect more Democrats. It's not just the U.S. Senate. It's the U.S. Senate. It's the State House. It's the City Council. It's the school board. It is important that we own who we are and we elect folks at all levels, because all levels affect your household. They just do. So get involved. Find your county party. Find your district party. Come to the state party. Get involved and help us elect more Democrats. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back here tomorrow at 4:15.